Okay, now that my mic's officially working, I'm gonna restart my monologue. So, hello everyone in chat. Um, so we're studying Ace today. We're gonna be watching two of their VOD replays that they've sent me. So number one here is the Bastion Hanamura, right? To just to start off with, we've only just gotten into this. Um, so what I was just saying, which I was illustrating through my emotions, but not actually through my dialogue, is that Bastion here is kind of cool and quirky, and he holds this choke pretty well. But the problem is with the composition that they're running between stuff like Reinhardt, Diva, Genji, and Junkrat, right? They are going to be able to collapse on you much easier here than if you were here holding the same sightline, right? Because Bastion's such a linear character, you can hold forward or backwards, and you still have control of the space, right? Bastion works because he controls space very effectively with the damage output he does through spam. And so part of the recipe for success there is you have to be holding back in order to create more distance for them to challenge, right? So because you're right up front here, the distance that they have to challenge is very low, right? This is easily within range for Diva to expend her full matrix and get a bunch of damage onto you with the rest of her team, and you can't do a thing about it. As opposed to back here, you're already putting pressure onto them in the choke, right? Which is good. That forces cooldowns such as defense matrix and everything else. But now the distance is a lot harder for them to cross, right? Admittedly, you don't see the left side as well there, but that's a fine trade-off because even if you're here, the distance that they have to run from this doorway to this back corner is still significantly higher than the distance that they would have to run from this choke here, right? So right from the get-go, I'm fully expecting you to get blasted down because looking at what you have, right? You're running Lucio Moira. I don't think it's going to be anything sustainable enough, like with immortality. You don't have a Zarya to bubble you, right? There's no bailout if you get run over. So you really just have to hope that this front line is just uh, like an ironclad defense, right? Right. So Ryan's already lost his shield. Both your shields are down. Okay, their Ryan's gone. And they're able to get some damage on you from there, right? You got some decent natural protection, but like your tanks are doing a lot to keep you up here. Their resources are getting really heavily used. All it takes is one coordinated effort at this match for you to get overrun. Okay. This is clownery. I don't know why they use that. Right, so like, again, the position that you're holding is interesting, and the only reason I say it's bad is because if they were coordinated, they could run on top of you, but clearly they're not, right? So that's why you're getting value out of this, isn't because this is a particularly great position. You're just putting out a lot of damage, and they don't know how to deal with you, and the rest of your team is following through. But like, look at how many times your team shields have broken because they're not able to swing as much. Like, Ryan can't swing as much as he wants. He has to keep you safe. Sigma can't reasonably keep his shield up for a very long time, or it's not like Orisa where you can just keep cycling him out. Sigma has to do the same shield management as Reinhardt, but with a lot less shield to manage. So it makes things a little difficult on the Sigma too, right? So you do recognize that in this position you are forcing out a lot of resources from your team to keep you alive. And on top of that, the reason that you're winning is because the team hasn't thought to coordinate and jump on top of you, right? They're all pushing in at separate times. Like, think about when the Junkrat was up here shooting at you and the rest of the team wasn't in choke, right? You have to look at the choke, but because the Junkrat was pushing you separately, your attention turned, right? So I still don't like this position, even though you're getting value and you burned over a minute off the clock. Right? Not great. Right? Because look at this. Look at how focused you are on the Diva. If this team were to push in on you right now, you are super dead because you're not looking at them, right? You're not looking at the thing that like you're in that position to look at. And not only that, right? If you were back here, you would still be able to see that Diva coming in and see the rest of the team. You would have more awareness about the situation if you were back here. Instead, you have to do a complete 180, right? And that's scary. That guy whiffs his shatter. Might take a lot of pressure here. I'm presuming they break through at some point, right? Considering this is a 16-minute replay and not a 6-minute replay. Alright. This is so silly. I can't believe I was sent this. But you know what? It's working. Okay. So, let me turn off the capture sounds. Right. So why does this Genji get in? Or more specifically, how does he get in? Oh, he dashes in. I think you heard him. Or you, like, knew that he was there. Can't deflect rock. Right, so he just chills, right? So a lot of what ends up happening here is they start getting angles on you, right? Right, so the Genji's gonna start setting up, getting that angle. And they only have... Well, they have Trance, they have Tire, they have Blade, and you have Beat. So you have to beat one of the DPS ults. If they cycle them out, it's... Well, that's not your responsibility. Alright. Right. What is your responsibility right now is giving up this choke, right? Like, you recognize the Genji is blading on point, and you decide that now's the time to retreat, but you need to be putting pressure on the choke, right? Like, this is what they want. They want you to be falling back. They want to pressure you out of this situation. They haven't been able to until you decide of your own volition, I need to retreat back and help my team, right? All we need to do is beat this, right? Like, your Lucio just needs to beat Blade, and you should be fine. Okay, right? Blade was beaten. And now you're lost, right? Oh, slept out of that. Right. Okay. Do you see how this misposition and then rotate to counteract messed you up here, right? Bastion is not a particularly difficult character, but the major core concept that you need to have is positioning, right? And now, I want to watch this fight back if you've been playing back here, right? Playing in an area where you have slightly more control over the situation. Right? You're looking at choke. Right? So you're able to actually, I have to go back a little further, right? But you're able to deny that push if you're playing back here.
Get into position.
Right? You're able to scout out Genji if you're here. Right? You're putting pressure on him where he can't push into you directly. Right? I don't know why your Sigma gives up on him. Actually, I do know why your Sigma gives up on him. It's because your Ryan's dead, and he has to help you out in the front line now. Right? So now you're able to, from here, you'd be able to see Genji's going over the top. Right? You'd be able to hear it, too. And you'd be able to see this and do something about it. Even though most of your attention should be on the front line, you'd be in a better situation to respond to the point problem. Right? Or even if you were up here, you'd be in a much better position to challenge the point problem. Right? Do you see why that happens? Right? This is difficult. This is difficult to work with because you are so tunnel visioned forward because you have to be, right? The map has forced your hand, or more accurately, forced your eyes in being so linearly focused, right? Right. I would have liked to see you finish the kill on that rat, right? Prevent this tire from even coming out. We'll watch it back a little. Right? That rat, you should know that both of these DPS are threats, right? And you need to do what you can to finish them. So I don't know why you retreat in this situation, right? When the rest of the team is not ready to follow through, right? And then they out ult, right? If Thunder is the same Thunder as is on one of my other teams, like I can tell you he's a menace on the right, right? He knows what he's doing. I kind of hope this is the same Thunder. I think it's funny. All right, so Sebastian didn't work out in the long run. So you sort of opt to Reaper. That's fine. And hopefully this is more of the gameplay, right? So with Reaper, a lot of what you're going to have is flank control. You're going to have a lot of burst damage, but at a close range. So So he's decent at combating Rhine. He's pretty good at combating D.Va. The one thing he has to really be worried about is defense matrix for his ult. They've got low mobility support, so there's a good chance that you'll be able to jump on top of them, right? Just note that the rest of your team is not as mobile, right? You're playing like a weird Brawl poke hybrid right now, where you have the supports for Brawl, you have the tank for Brawl. Some would say tanks, depending on what kind of Brawl you're trying to run, right? But you also have the Ashe who has to play back. So there's a good chance that not the full team is going to be playing with you on Reaper. So be mindful that as a flanker, right, when you're supposed to have this kind of control, know what your bailout looks like, right? Your shift really needs to be excellent. Do you want to be challenging this front line, right? This is the most common push on Hanamura. Do you want to be challenging that front line alone when the rest of your team's holding main, right? I would be not surprised if you died for this. Yeah, there it is. Think about how you can jump onto that back line. They're squishy. There's not much they can do about you.
I will get my revenge.
Alright, Trance gets forced. If you build your ult quickly, you can get Death Blossom for free. Alright, good focus. Nice. Try to stay alive here. Yeah, you should know that Zen's there, and you should have started pushing him already. Right? You're hesitating. Like, your attention is split between the two supports. Go for the closer one. Right, this fight's over. Just try to get that ult charge. Right. But also, like, you could have just gone down main to flush her out. Your Moira kind of flushed her out. You knew she was going to run through main. Just go through main. Just wait for her on the other end. Right, deny the exit. And please don't eat another fire strike. Yeah, start setting yourself up. Good. Genji's on you. Right, okay. You not need to use shift here. Right, your supports had pretty decent vision on you. Or they would have been able to help you if you just fallen back. But you should get back, so it doesn't matter too much. Be aware that you just challenged this without your shift. Right? You could have done that same drop that you just did right here. You could have done that same drop when the Genji was challenging you. Instead, you chose to do it when you were at 27 HP, right? There's a much higher chance you get pursued, and that guy just takes your health pack. Okay. That's not a fight you should have won. Now TP's pretty exposed. Yeah, you're healed up. You gotta get in there and help that Ryan.
Get into position.
Alright. Yeah, fight's happening here. Okay. Again, the shifts are weird, right? You're using them for mobility and you're using them to mitigate like the damage that you don't really need to be worried about. Right? Now I'm not saying just face tank a bunch of damage, but like just be mindful about how you're using your shift, right? Because I don't want a bad habit to form. Here you're holding, you're not even pursuing with the team, right? You're not helping get pressure. Admittedly, you have your ult, so you don't need to be doing poke, but like think about how you're holding this with your Ashe, right? You're not doing anything here, right? Neither is your Sigma, for what it's worth, right? Oh, please don't blossom here. You're gonna have 6 ults. Right. Oh, you're probably gonna get punished. Okay. Cool. Nice, good kill. Alright, good finish. Now, I feel like what I'm about to see here is going to be you wraithing in, and then as soon as you pop out a wraith, you're going to pop your Death Blossom, and you're going to hope to God that nobody stops you. So I'm predicting one of 3 things to happen here. You're going to wraith, and as soon as you come out of wraith, Zen's going to use trance. You're going to wraith, as soon as you come out of wraith, you're going to get slept by Ana. Or you're going to wraith, you're going to come out of wraith, and they're going to focus all their damage into you the second that happens. Right, so hedge your bets, chat. Alright, you got pressured out. You got punished for trying to teleport. That was not on the list of things I had bets on, actually. So cool. I've been thrown off the scent, right? You are about to challenge, right? Zen, Discord, Rhine Swings, Ana. Where's the other DPS? You just killed the Genji. Okay. Diva's still behind you, right? So you're about to challenge this Ryan both supports, right? Do you think it's going to work out for you? Right? And Diva when she gets in. And the rat if he ever turns to notice you, right? So that is no longer a viable push. Right? You gotta get out. And who does he shatter in the process? He literally just goes for you, right? Kind of BM, but you also were just so exposed there. Alright, let's see if you do the Reaper thing. Coming out of spawn.
I will get my revenge.
Alright, well, you need a touch point. Okay. So, in an incredible twist of fate, you did not shift in, but you did in fact receive all three things that I said were going to happen. Because you telegraphed this ult, right? Watch what happens here.
I will get my revenge.
Okay. You use Wraith to get into the fight quicker. Happens. I want you to notice what happens in this fight now. I'm gonna slow it down to quarter speed, right? Teleport is not a distance closing cooldown in the way that you hope it is, right? Because everybody has all the time in the world to react. You'll see Reapers try to teleport on top of Widows, and depending on the Widow's skill and the Widow's skill alone, they will either punish the Reaper or get punished by the Reaper, right? Now watch this. Ryan starts to focus down the damage. Miraculously doesn't hit you. Ana goes to the sleep on you.
Pass.
Somehow hits you even though the pin doesn't. And the trance comes out, right? So all three things I told you were going to happen if you try to use a cooldown into Blossom, right? If you telegraph it that hard, all three things I just said were going to happen exactly to you. Do you see why, right? Because look at the I'm gonna play this back one more time, right? And we're gonna look at the Ryan's perspective on this, right? Okay, point control, point control. He sees this, right? He sees this coming in. He thinks he has the timing. He's off to the right a little bit too much. Doesn't matter though, because his sleep comes through, right? Everybody and their brother was looking at you in that moment, right? And that's why you got punished for that, right? Now, admittedly, it is overtime and a lot of things go out the window. But think about like why that happened to you, right? It wasn't, oh, unlucky. They had everything ready to go. It's like, no, they knew you were going to do it, right? You weren't able to catch anyone off. You weren't able to force out any cooldowns. Again, overtime, right? It's hard to do that. But just recognize the situation that you're in and recognize how this would happen in a situation outside of this overtime contest, right? This is not uncommon. And you don't have Wraith because you used it to get in there, right? So your Blossom did nothing. And you've died on the play. Like you've stalled. You put them under a minute. That's good, right? But I'm presuming that we maybe clutch this. Okay. Let's watch that back one more time. Okay. So you've ignored Diana, who's keeping the team up, right? And who's looking at her team, not at you. Plus, I don't know if she has sleep. She might have sleep. But more likely than not, she had to use on someone else. Okay. Yeah, she just used her sleep. So she doesn't have sleep because it's a crazy fight. She's not looking at you. She doesn't even see you here. You go for the rat, who's 1, and gets killed by the Bob that's on point. And you blindly continue to push this through the Junkrat mines, right? And then is there a trap? Yeah, he bounces you back into the trap that you didn't see, right? Like why? Just why, right? Like Junkrat was under control and you could have shot him from at least a little bit of distance. This needed to be your #1 priority, right? The isolated healer with no cooldowns to manage you. I mean, okay, sure, she could have naded you, but that's not gonna help when she has double shotguns to the face, right? So think about that target priority just like a little bit harder, right? And also recognize what Junkrat can do to you, right? You don't have that shift anymore. You can't get out of those mines.
30 seconds remaining.
But your Ashe is carrying. Your Ashe and Bob are carrying right now. So you clutch it out. Okay, you're not taking any angles. You're not scouting. You're not getting any information. You're playing in main, right? You don't have to jump on anyone. You're telegraphing what you're gonna do at every moment. Right? Okay, looking for D.Va, getting her off your Moira. Sure. Got sticky using shift, getting the tank. Good. Okay, you're at least farming ult. Yeah, you're playing at the same angle as your Ryan, so he's just able to shield you both off. He's able to shield everyone else off. Nice. Good target shifting. Again, you had a chance to kill that Ana and you missed it because you just weren't looking. You got your shift forced. Yeah. Right, there's other targets that you can get, right? You don't have to always focus on the tank. As helpful as it is, right? Ryan is at a very similar effective range as you, so you both are going to do damage to each other. Right, just be mindful of that. Okay, but you have no overtime.
Round 1. Ready for
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Keep an eye on your health.
Alright, here on Reaper, what I want to see you try to do is get a teleport either into the right room or into the top left, depending on which you... Oh, they have a lever. Okay. Depending on which you think is going to be the more achievable route, right? Because Reaper, again, you're a very good flank character. If you keep shooting down main, right, there's only so much impact that you're going to be able to have. Right? Try to get the jump on someone. Okay. So you teleport right into them. They can see that, but they... Okay. They, both of you back off. So that's interesting. There was not really a threat to you there. Okay, they're getting the guy back. So now they're back at 6. Alright. Okay.
Claiming the objective.
So ideally your team engages off of this, right? The flanker and the main group should be engaging at the same time so that you can't get isolated as easily, right? So if you aren't in the VC, you need to tell your team this is the time to go, right? And you need to be aware if they're in a position where they're able to go, right? This works because they're not really running anything that's going to stop you. They're not going to do a bastion strat, but you know, be aware if you do this, even if you get that pick, you can get 3 picks here and still lose because they'll focus you down and the rest of the team won't be able to follow through, right? Kind of a weird shift. Could have saved it when things were a little bit more desperate. Playing at the anti. Alright, Ryan's still a threat. You wasted that. Cool. Alright, good job. Right? You did your job. Please stop shooting at deflecting Genji. Alright. Yeah, you did your job there though. That was good. A little scuffed on the shift usage and a little
Objective A captured.
timing was okay.
Defense point.
It's mostly the shift I'm worried about, right? Just be aware that like when can you go in, right? Like right now. Here's a good example. Is your team able to help you when you're going in like this? Right? Probably not. Even though you got the Pharaoh flank coming in, right? You are not going to do much here because even if you draw the team back, they're still going to be able to reset, right? Someone like that Sim can challenge you right now, or the Ana. If the Ryan wanted, he could challenge you, right? But your team still has like another 5 to 10 seconds before they're going to be able to do anything, right? And you're trying to force this out now. I really don't like this. This is too early. Yeah. And then your shift gets used, right? And now you're out, right? And now the rest of your team's trying to push in off of that, and you're in no position to help because you've used TP and you've used shift, right? So what are the odds to get punished? Go for this one next time. All right. Mercy bails you out. Help your Rhine. Yep. Good shift. Like, see, there. Oh. This is actually really good, right? This is an example of a good good blossom, right? Because I don't know if you see him use this, right? But he doesn't have his shift, right? He doesn't have his shift on a waste of her sleep, right? So you know the sleep is gone. You maybe know that shift is gone, right? So now with Genji out of the picture because you won that duel thanks to your Mercy pocketing you, right? As long as he doesn't hit you with a rock, right? Which I think you've also just seen him use, right? The major stuns are off the field and the shift is off. So all you have to worry about is actually, and you've just debacked the diva. So basically, you know in this position that every tool that's going to stop you is now gone, right? And that's why this works, right? Not only are you within a really heavily effective range, right? But by popping that shift there, like, oh, that Baptiste is sad, right? You just got a 3k. You just got a 3k for free because you baited out all the utility before you use this and you didn't telegraph it, right? They didn't know to look at you there. They had so many things to look at because Overwatch is such a visually cluttered game. They didn't know to look at you there, all right? Kill the Sim, please. All right, kill the Bap next. Kill the Genji next before he wipes everyone. All right. Okay, little early with the shift. I was a bit scared. Yeah. You should have. I would have liked to see you go for the diva. That's okay. But try to follow through on these kills, right? Because instead your attention's getting really split. They've got Doomfist on the field now. All right, your team wants us to keep going. Cool. You followed through on that. Ana's right on top of you. Please kill the Ana first. Okay, cool. You focus her down. Nice. Sigma next. Actually, you can start meleeing him, or you can start shooting the diva here, right? You don't have to just wait. All right, this Ryan is just pinning left and right. Break that lamp next. You have to break the lamp. Break the Lucio. All right. And maybe start thinking about holding a door, right? Actually, you can continue playing on point, right? But holding door pressure will prevent this recontest from going as long. Monkey needs to be your #1 target here. Actually, that's not true. Diva needs to get demacked, and then Monkey needs to be your #1 target. Oh, yeah, you're a little bit too far out for that to work, right? Because the Bastard's able to just melt you down. All right, let's watch. We'll watch the Bastard. Right. I don't think you're even aware that this Bastion's here, right? But like, look, you're not even doing damage to him at this range, right? You have no idea. You haven't shifted on top of him, right? You haven't used your cooldown in a particularly meaningful way. You just kind of use it to move around a bit. And now this guy just burns you down, right? And you die for it. And this might actually stop the push here. Is this kill? Right. So be aware of how you're using things. Right. A lot of it comes down to your situational awareness has not been fantastic this game. Like, it's okay. It's passable, but like this definitely looks like gold, silver, high silver, low gold.
Repositioning.
Just because like you're not focusing on targets hard enough, and you also aren't aware that there are threats on the field around you. All right, you might win off of this. Rejoin the fight. Good, good, good. Nice, good kill. Good cleanup. All right. Be careful challenging that. All right, excellent job. So now you get a free attack because you finished with 3 minutes and they finished with nothing. You need over a minute for that to work. Excellent job. I like it. Let's watch this attack back. Well, I hope you win this. Be a little sad if you didn't. That's okay.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
All right. You should be already prepared for the Sim Junkrat. You hear both of them, right? But with Sim and Junkrat, the mobility isn't low. They're not running Bastion. They don't have those holds on you, right? So I'd like to see again the same thing of you teleporting somewhere, right? That'd be cool. All right, shift out of the damage. Sure, whatever. Ryan takes a lot of pressure. Yeah, you gotta get it. Just be aware that you teleported in without any bailout cooldown, even though it's coming back. That's fine there because you didn't get punished for it, but just be aware that you did that. You've used a res. Okay, this is good. Looks like you're communicating with the Sombra. She engages a little bit too early because you're not able to follow through. Shift off the damage. Alright, okay. So, what happened there? Alright, your Sombra engages a lot earlier than you're able to follow through on, and the rest of the team isn't ready to push, right? So this is what we're talking about the flank engagements. You be coordinated with the rest of your team. This is an example of that, right? Sleep barely misses. That's pretty much more of a no-reg. She shifts on you. She throws her E on you. You shift out of there, and then you re-engage off of the same shift, and you're still half down, right? Do you think this is a good idea? Right? The rest of the team is going to start turning on to this point to deal with you, right? But you better hope that your healing is going to do a lot here. Right? But unfortunately, that Ryan comes back. And actually, the rest of the team comes back. I don't know where your Sombra went. Oh, Sombra left you. Sombra left you to die there. Right? So the re-engagement off the same shift, all you did was wipe away the anti. You didn't use that time to get out. You didn't use that time to reposition. You didn't use that time to get a health pack. You kind of screwed yourself over a little bit there, right? By trying to re-engage off that. Like I think you thought you could heal yourself up off of the tanks, but it didn't work out. All right, your team is still fighting this. Please get in there. Rat's dead. You didn't walk into that this time. Good. All right, good on the Orisa. Kill this Mercy. Finish the Mercy. All right. Distracted again. You need to save this shit for that tire. I cannot believe he tired from spawn. Right? But what forces out your shift here? Other than you not wanting to be in this fight anymore, right? And also, right, what I'm seeing here. Arcs UK, thanks for the follow. Right, what I'm seeing right here with you, yeah, it was a little loud. I need to turn that down. But thanks for the follow, Arcs. What I'm seeing right here, right, you clearly know that you need to get out of a situation like this because you're at 131, 250, right? But what's the difference between that and where you just were, right? The same thing that got you killed, and you shifted and you re-engaged. Like the not only are you using shift like weirdly to engage in a telegraphed manner, right? You're not even using it consistently to do so, because you're getting into a position, and I'm gonna watch this fight back for like a third, fourth time, right? So like you recognize you're in danger, and then you go and re-engage off of this, right? Like you're trying to re-engage off of the save shift. So why is this situation different than the other one, right? Like I don't understand. Where you face tank this tire, right? Right? 131 HP. Okay, I feel like I'm in danger. I'm gonna shift on out, right? But who's on the point? This is Mercy, right? It's Mercy. Um, yours is back here, right? You could fall back. Your Moira's here, right? You got a lot of people who can help you out here, and you're leaving. You're fleeing the scene of the fight, and you're doing so to chase a teleporter, right? Like Mercy's still doing stuff, yo. Mercy just brought back that Rhyme for free because you weren't there to stop her, right? Like there's a non-zero chance this fight gets extended because of that, right? And not only you're not doing max damage to the teleporter by being this far away, you don't have shift. You don't have shift for tire, right? It's like it's just a tragic series of events because of the shift management, right? Like it's really just unfortunate. Although I'm pretty sure your team clutches up off of this, right? Yeah, there's 16 seconds left. Okay. EMP wraps up, and you weren't there for that, right? So your contribution wasn't zero here, right? You did good things for a lot of this map, but just so many of the engagements were either out of sync, right, or you weren't engaging well, right? Like you were trying to teleport in to get a blossom off. You're trying to shift in to get something done. You would shift out and then shift back in, right, with no change to your healing, either positive or negative, right? Which in the end ends up being a negative end result for you, right? Reaper's healing isn't that much, right? It's good. It's good healing, the self-sustain off the damage, the was it the Vampiric passive, but like it's not gonna be um enough to just let you do something like that, right? So just be mindful. Let's watch Oasis now. Watch Oasis and then we'll call it a night here, I think.
Ready for battle.
Okay, so we're gonna watch you again. Back on the Reaper. Ideally, this is a Reaper only stream. Besides that Bastion weirdness at the beginning, that was interesting. Alright. Okay. City of Mercy, subscribe. Thanks, Katie. I really appreciate you. That's actually our first sub. Take it. I will take it. I appreciate you, Katie. That's gonna be really loud in the recording, I'm sure. I might have to tone that one down.
Capture the objective.
Love you too, Katie. Okay. This composition, a little interesting. So, okay, let's see it. So you're running Sigma Zarya, which I already don't really love. Tracer Mercy Lucia. So this isn't really too much of a composition that you've got going on right here. You try to wait until I wasn't commentating. True. Well, I appreciate that. So you're running a weird comp here, right? Where you've got like Lucio is probably gonna be the biggest boon for you right here, and Mercy's gonna be an okay bailout. Zarya's got some cool stuff that she can do with Bubble to protect you with your Death Blossom, right? But you're gonna really need to communicate with a team like this to make it manageable, right? You're also running into Farrah McCree, right? Which you don't know now because you're just rolling out, but off of seeing this, I would personally swap already, right? McCree's gonna hard counter you, even though the monkey is tasty and the supports are pretty immobile, right? Like this is not favorable for you because you don't really have a niche that you fit into with this comp, right? You've already got Tracer, who's arguably the best flanker in the game just by her duelist ability, right? So you can't, like, I guess you could double flank if you want, right? But that's gonna make it really hard on your supports to help you out, because you're not running something like a Brig or a Zen to heal you at range, or heal you with LOS, right? So like, there's some stuff that you can do, but this is gonna be a pretty big test of your individual skill here. Okay, there's an example of the weird shifts. Like you use shift there because you got shot in the back once. You just kind of said, okay, fine. You use it for movement, right? Try not to use it for movement as much. All right, hooks him down, right? Again, you do the shift flash for really little. You're shooting shields here. Yeah. Either break the shield or commit to someone else, right? Yeah, I don't know what any of these shifts have done, but I would have really liked it for as soon as you saw that McCree, right? Which he didn't follow through because he was reloading. Right, so they played that fight really weird. Winston got punished because he went in way too early. Right. This is cheeky. right? So there you go, right? You've used your teleport to get in, right? I'm gonna watch this closely, and I'm saying this mostly because I hear the Lucius screaming, "Group up with me," right? Watch this. Watch what happens here. All right, you teleport in as soon as the whole team has died, right? They're gonna start coming out of this spawn. So you've used your teleport first of all. You've used your Wraith to engage because you took a Fire Strike to the face, right? And now you have to hope that like they're not going to speed on you fast enough, which you don't know whether or not they're going to get on top of you fast enough, right? Thankfully, it doesn't look like they can. And this Zarya, I think, should have team bubble here because it's been a minute since the fight. So you have an out, but you got to take it now, right? Yeah. And, right, and you don't have shift to escape. You don't use the bubble as an escape tool. Like, you still commit to this fight that like you are the only one taking this fight, right? The rest of your team wants you to group up with them. That call that the Lucius making, I'm pretty sure like is for you, right? Like based off of what he can see and what this Lucio knows, that call is for you, right? So you start to make your way out, and then you just take this straight away. You get slapped. Yeah, you die for that. Like you die because you push in and you squander your escape abilities, right? So again with the shift and the teleport, right? Like be mindful about how you're using your cooldowns as Reaper. He doesn't get a whole lot in his arsenal, right? He gets a get out of jail free card and a repositional tool, both of which are very, very slow in the grand scheme of Overwatch abilities. Your pass is cool though. All right, that's a good time to reload. Okay, not the worst time to shift, right? Nanome is scary. I don't mind that play. Probably not optimal, but I don't mind it, right? I need to see you push past this shield and maybe Death Blossom to bring it back if you think it's necessary. Oh, they had someone leave. Okay, maybe not necessary. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're running. Definitely not necessary. I didn't realize that they lost someone. That's... Right, well, that sends down, so if they wanted to Transcend, they can't. So you know that at least, right? Yeah, it is a little awkward there, right? Because what happens, right? You don't push past the shield fully enough, plus he's able to turn around and block you, and you're not quite close enough to do damage. Or if you are doing damage, it's also getting shielded off. So it's like, yeah, it's a little awkward, and frankly, it just wasn't needed, right? End of the day, I don't think that Blossom was necessary. It's cool that you tried to follow through on a Grav. I like that you saw a synergy and you went for it. But at the end of the day, right? Like what difference would it have made if you blossomed as opposed to just shooting, right? And also, again, like we were talking about on Hanamura, right? Think about how much stun you ate just by like trying to use your ult, right? Like you gotta think about the stuns when you're using Reaper ult because you are just such a sitting duck, frankly. Like Blossom's a cool ultimate when you get the jump on someone. You can almost always guarantee like 1 or 2 kills with it. Yeah, the value just wasn't there for the ult, right? You tried to ult something that was a one fight anyway, so you've lost that. And on top of that, right, like you weren't able to even use it properly to get value out of it because the stuns were still on the table, right? So just a bad time to Blossom. I saw what you were going for there, and I appreciate it. That is a good synergy, but like frankly, neither of you needed to be ulting there, right? And you know, in solo queue ranked, like that's kind of on you to recognize too, right? Like understanding, you know, that wasn't really necessary. Do I have to contribute, right? I'm sure the Zarya appreciated that you tried to follow up on it, but at the end of the day, now both of you are down ults in what was already a one fight. Like that fight was pretty much won as soon as the Zen was up, or if Zen was down, your Ryan came back up. Or not Ryan. Who got rezzed? Was it Lucio? Someone on your team got rezzed. Doesn't really matter. Right. Now also, as soon as that shield's down, like you need to start pushing that. Oh, your McCree's back up. Okay. Yeah, your McCree comes back up, right? Like, okay. This would be a good time. If only because Ryan doesn't have a barrier, or at least he doesn't have a good one. and Ana doesn't have a sleep. I don't know if you know the Ana cooldowns offhand or if you had seen that, right? But like this would have been okay because they're both within a range that you can close decently. And if you use it right here, like your Zarya probably doesn't use grab, right? And then I think you decide to call it here, and the Zarya commits, and then you commit on top of that, right? Like you see that hesitation, and then your re-engagement off the same shift, and now you don't have shift. Oh, dude, just a double stun. It's like I'm watching Reinhardt gameplay, honestly. Like I just feel this in my soul, right? That's not a comment on you either. That's just like I hate how much stun there is sometimes. Right? Okay. I would like it here if you were over in this position because you would be in a better position to support your team and getting out. I can definitely see myself making these trip ups as well. So it's nice to hear about the shift and repositioning use. And actually, Noct, I'm not sure who you are in my chat. I don't know if that's Melvin or not. Because I've never seen you in my chat before. Right, okay, jumping on the monkey. Right, again, the shift usage is just not necessary. Yeah. What's up, dude? Right. Right, okay. So you would have been able to do a little bit more by being here earlier, right? But I appreciate that you're on the monkey. Get her. Get her. Get her. Yes! Good job. That's a no reg. That is a no register. How does this not connect? Crooked Child? Is that Vanessa? How does that phase through you? What? Hello, y'all. Welcome to the channel. Vanessa, thanks for making that Twitch and following. How does this shift go through you? I don't understand. I can't wait to upload this video and have this entire conversation in it too. What the heck happens here? Oh, that's unlucky. That is unlucky. Especially because you move like right through it too. Yeah. Oh, tragic. Okay. Oh, I skipped a little too far. Okay. I skipped far again. What? No, go back. Okay. So May's down. Good. Good target focus. Dodge that. Good. Good target focus. After this beat is in, you know the sleep is gone. You should be killing this Ana, right? I know that you're a tank buster. I know that you know that you're a tank buster. But think about this, right? Ana's just used the thing that's going to stop you, and you now have shields, right? You will have like a good 2 to 3 second window of just being able to bum rush this guy, right? Like kill this idiot. They have anti-nade, right? Which they're probably going to use on someone else in this moment to either, they're probably going to use on this Ryan actually. Yeah, there it is, right? And you get purpled by that. But you could have rushed that Ana to A, prevent the support that she's going to do to this Ryan, and B, just taking out support in general, right? You cripple both the Ryan and the rest of the team by taking out this Ana, or at least focusing on her, right? Applying the pressure enough to keep her away from the fight. That's why Reaper does well on flanks, right? You're able to keep them engaged because they have to respect that while you're on the flank. Like your tank busting ability is good. Your pin dodging ability is not. All right. So that's all out now. Yeah, this fight's over. Your team should play for Flux High Noon. Don't even try to take this fight yet. Like, just get set up here, right? Yes. Your fight's done. You were the first one to die. Your team's not ready to support you, right? Don't get in there yet. Like, that's a good shift. You actually fully... Ooh, I got scared because I saw you going in there for a second. You fully disengaged, and you had the support to get you out, right? You saw it was a bad situation. You used it. You got out. Now your team's ready to go, right? This would be a decent time. Well, actually, the McCree's there, but teleporting somewhere back here, right? Trying to get in the back line. Trying to get down here and jump that Zen, right? There's a couple options that you have, right? And then you can shift out of them. Playing it so forward is a little dangerous. Right, and then you do it again, right? You shift. Your shift is used to prevent you from getting stunned and to prevent you from taking damage. Why do you keep shifting into those situations, right? Because now it's just moot, right? Now you're arguably in a position with this Nano Mei. Like, you probably need this more now, right? And you're still just frontlining so hard, right? Try to get an angle, right? Try to get on the flank, right? Monkey's down, but with all of the focus fire coming in one direction, right? Save for like the Sigma, and even then, it's not that steeply different of a direction. With everyone focusing on the same thing, Ryan can shield this, and the team can play together, right? The team knows how to play around this. Taking angles makes this a lot more complicated, right? And even still, right, you're all looking one way, May's looking at you all from the back. Arguably, if the supports don't die here, Red has the better pinch. All right, well, they die anyways. All right, are you gonna go for that McCree? Okay. There's still a May. So, at least you have Zarya to bail you out. Yeah, okay, finish the kill. Right. You know, don't neglect the situation that's more important, but like that was fine. Right. Okay. Alright, and go start pushing forward, right? Try to deny this push.
Just how I like it.
A little bit of a scuffed round.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
From the shadows.
Your support has arrived.
Katie, I hope you didn't like actually spend money for that sub and you just use a prime. Okay. Whew. Oh boy.
Your support has arrived.
Okay. So right from the get-go, you're playing forward again, right? You're not. This room is very nice to take control of, especially when you're Reaper, right? Reaper likes these enclosed, close combat situations, much like Reinhardt, especially on a flank like this. This is an important room to control. I don't know if people in chat want to participate, but can you think of why this room is important? Right? Dark room right here. Especially for this Junkrat, right? What value does this Junkrat get if he takes this room? Angles. Yeah, exactly. It's literally just that, right? He has an angle that isn't main, and now if you're on the point, you have to challenge not only this forward choke, right? If you have control over it, you have to worry about this side room too, right? So this splits the team and gets damage from a relatively safe position where he can back out and be with the rest of his team, right? There's very little that Junkrat needs to do to do damage. You should be trying to take this room first and deter him from getting in there, right? Again, you don't know that they have Junkrat right now, but on the whole, Dark Room is a really good room to start fighting for. The only reason you survive this is because your Zarya is ready for you. But you also do the shift thing again, right? Like, you do like a weird short shift. Right? Do you see how you flash it? You see the bubble come out, and then you're like, oh, cool, I got bubble, I'm protected. No, you're not protected, right? Bubble still pops on a Wraithed Reaper, right? Like, you can still have it get broken, and you can still get health, or not health, you can still get damage for your Zarya, right? So, like, you've denied your own value because you figured, okay, Zarya's got me, and then you, again, re-engage off of it, right? You are not in a position to be doing that. God, I'm sure you wish that you weren't purple right now, right? Like, because you would have been able to heal, that Ryan wouldn't have been able to put his hammer right through your head, right? A lot of things would have gone differently if you had just fully committed to getting out or had not used shift whatsoever, right? Or used it later, right? But that whole situation went poorly for you, and it's because I think you got cocky with the shift, right? So be mindful. Be mindful of these things. I actually fully think you might lose this first fight.
Let's try again.
Yeah.
Death comes.
Okay. So they have the point, but do you lose the full fight? Yeah, your team doesn't want to commit here. All right. All right. So look, again, just going back to the whole dark room thing, right? I want to watch from the honest perspective of how she uses this room. That's tragic. That was a tragic sleep, right? So here, she's like, this would be okay if they were defending, right? but they're backing out, right? So now all of a sudden this Ana is very far forward, right? Like that's not great. So that McCree is able to deal with her, but you're not going the same way as your McCree. I think maybe you don't want to double flank, but understand that like you put yourself at risk, right? You have the please shift this. Okay, like you had shift and you didn't use it. Right? Pushing through this dark room to challenge it is not a bad idea, right? Or even if you want to take the top left, teleport up there and then challenge from the left side behind, that's fine too, right? But instead you run it right down mid and everybody knows what you're doing, right? Everybody knows that you're going to try and contest this room and watch what happens. Everybody's there to receive you, right? Everybody saw you do this. It was immensely telegraphed, and the McCree knew to save his flash for you. Now you kill him by shooting him in the toes, and you don't have time to shift out, right? But they reacted to the situation much better than you did.
I claim this objective.
I will get my revenge. Repositioning.
Okay, your team won that fight. Try to take it from the left side, right? You don't need you've got Zarya, you got McCree, right? And McCree isn't currently holding a flank. Try to take the left side. I mean, I would like McCree to be here and you to be on that front if you know you had to make a decision between the two, but like Nano Zen. Okay. But do you see how ineffective you are right here? Right? Because they haven't pushed through the choke, they're not pushing into your range, and you're just doing tickle damage from afar, right? Like you need to be able to get on top of someone as Reaper, right? You need to get the jump on someone and get out. Oh, the rat, the stinky rat man, he cometh once more, right? Oh my God, your entire team's ulting off of this. All right, well, they're getting things done without you. All right.
From the shadows.
You're just running it down mid again. Okay. I mean, your team's won the fight for you, setting up this fine, right? Now think about what could you be proactively doing, right? Because the other team has all their ults ready to go, right? And you are 70% in. Your whole minute and 10 seconds in this game, and you haven't gotten over halfway to Blossom, right? So your impact is not being felt. Just to put it bluntly, right? The impact of the Reaper's not being felt. What if you were in a position where you could get the jump on someone and then wraith out, right? So you should be spending this time, right, that you have, try to get a little bit more set up, try to get a flank going, right? Do something for yourself, right? You have to be your own advocate in this situation. Because waiting in main for them to come to you as a full unit is just simply not going to work, right? That McCree's still scary. Yeah, so it's a little hard to set up now. But you know, there's other ways. Like you can think about teleporting into a backline, right? You can think about how to approach this that isn't just running it down main or using your cooldowns in such a linear fashion. And you get flash and killed for it, right? Right. I'm gonna play this in half speed, right? That McCree is something really bold there, but he knows he's not gonna get punished for it. Or even if he does get punished, it's gonna open up a lot for his team, right? Because the rest of them are looking down main, and you are not built to take all this damage here, right? You are playing into their range, not your own. So this whole series of events. I mean, admittedly they had the old advantage on you, but like that whole event, English is a hard language. That entire situation was not in your favor whatsoever, right? But there's more that you could have done for yourself. Right? All right, health back. Bubble takes that hook. All right, let's check. Are you pushing with your team? Not really, right? Your tanks are lagging behind. Your Lucia's still in spawn, right? You are now frontlining, and like you're on an angle, but that doesn't mean that you have a flank, right? That doesn't mean you have map control, right? Just because you're on an angle, right? Your team isn't pushing one way, you're pushing another to harass the Ana or Zen or whoever in the back, right? You're the front line here. Right? And again, because you're the front line and the team isn't ready to respond, or your team isn't ready to respond, their team is, right? And they just catch your ass shift, right? So now we've gone almost 2 full minutes and you won't have your ult. Oh wait, well, hold on. All right. Oh, please shoot that guy. Oh, you could have done so much there. Okay. Mercy really likes you. Just shoot this dude. Why do you shift back into his hammer, right? Like, you don't have to be looking them dead in the eyes to hurt them, right? You take the fire strike, you get res, your mercy goes in, too aggressive. Nano Ryan, all right, try to build your ult off of this, right? Try to get some healing off of this. Try to do something in this situation because this Ryan, he's coming for your tanks. You shift out with 60 HP missing, and you teleport right in front of him. To do what, right? Like, you could have done damage to him from the back. You could have shifted to get out because you should probably know with both healers down that this fight is super lost, right? You could have tried to harass the backline while the Ryan's not able to help, right? There's people who are squishy, right? There are many different options, and you have gone with arguably the worst one by trying to challenge this guy, like, face to face. Right? And the Zen's there. Like, you might have been able to kill this Ryan, sure, but you might have also been able to kill that Ryan if you were shooting him in the back earlier. You definitely would have been able to kill that Zen. You definitely would have been able to kill that Rat, right? There's so many other options that would have helped out your team, and you just stared this guy down, right? I don't understand. So now 2 minutes have passed and you still have your ult, right? Again, the Reaper impact is not being felt by the rest of the team.
That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Okay, what do you have now?
Just how I like it.
So you should be aware that they have trance because they haven't used it in a while, right? Just basic ult tracking. Okay, I like this. Are you gonna teleport? Nice. This is the kind of thing I want to see, right? Now you're getting yourself set up to jump them. Let's go back.
Repositioning.
All right. So, you've got yourself set up here. Not bad, right? The backline's playing here for whatever reason. You want to go jump them when they get pushed back, right? You're starting to engage with the rest of your team. I don't agree with the shift, but up to this point, things are looking okay, right? Oh my god, this rat throws a trap down on top of you. It wasn't even there before. What are you supposed to do, right? But one of the things I hope you're communicating with your team is, okay, they're using Flux, they forced Trance out, so you know Trance isn't on the table anymore. Thankfully, you didn't commit ult to this, because that would have just been the cherry on top, right? And and now look at the situation you wound up in, right? This is one of those things where it's like, I don't agree with the shift, right? Because you use it to very loudly engage when you didn't necessarily need to. You would have liked it for this situation, and guess what? Your team is oh my god. Your team is no longer engaging with you, right? You are alone in a red sandwich, and this is just not fun, right? This isn't fun. And then you back into them even further. Like you run into the team even further, and the team isn't able to help you, right? And you die for it, right? Maybe you win this? Alright, never mind. Everybody's just throwing ults left and right. Right? Like, do you see how that fight could have gone differently if you had done things just like a little bit either manage your shift a little bit better, right? or regrouped with your team a little bit faster, right? Do you see how things could have gone differently for you if you were a little bit more prepared for the situation at hand, right? Obviously, that trap caught you off guard, right? And it's like, oh, I know there's a trap here, right? And sure, that's fine, but that's like, another thing to put on the list. Like, why do we save shift, right? Why don't we engage with shift, right? Mercy brings you back again. Yeah, you don't have many options there. And then you die for it, right? I mean, they should have seen that one coming from a mile away. Right? So, like, are we understanding, like, why the shift usage and why your approach is putting you in these awkward situations? Right?
Ready for battle.
Soon we will see if
Like, the logistics of this comp notwithstanding, just the cooldown management's just bad, right? Your approach has been bad. The cooldown management has not been optimal. Right, you're doing good damage, and you're using your ult okay, but like because you're playing in a suboptimal style and you're not taking a better approach to this, you're not farming your ult fast enough for your team to use it, right?
Capture the objective.
And you're not doing enough pressure to prevent your team from getting overrun,
from the shadows.
right? Okay. No, take an angle. Take an angle, because now you're engaging front line without your team, right? Right, your targets here, as fun as Ryan is to blast down, because people just love giving Ryan a miserable time. Zen needs to go, Ana needs to go, Hog is ult battery, right? 3 different targets that you could be focusing down. McCree, you shouldn't be winning that duel unless you bait out flashbang. Rat's gonna be difficult for you to deal with because he'll try to keep you at bay with those mines. And you and Ryan have a very similar effective range, right? Okay. Blasted. Wrap around, right? Where was your shift? Like, this is a time for you to be using shift as soon as that purple comes out and disengaging, right? Because McCree is up top on the flank. Ryan is right here. You don't want to push into him. Hog is back here. That's free health. That's free ult charge, right? You want to get out and be aware of the situation happening around you, because that Hog should be free if you go and challenge him with the rest of your team, right? That's something that you can shift engage onto, because Hog's alone. Hog's getting targeted. You're out of the rest of the fight. Nobody can do anything about you. There's things that can happen.
The objective is now active.
This time,
I actually don't know who wins this fight.
job. Repositioning.
It's not impossible that Red wins this off this nano. Kill him. Nice. Okay. Good stuff. They committed nano to that. But that Hog's been doing a lot of work. Hopefully you know that he's close to his whole Hog. You got Noon, you got Flux, ideally, after this forward hold, right? But here's just a waste of time, right? Don't need a shift out of that. Tempting, but don't do it. Shift out of that. Fully shift out of that. So you can get behind cover. Alright. Sorry, grabs without you. Yeah. You need to fight for this flank, right? That's unfortunate, right? I want to see what that Reaper does, just so we can maybe highlight some stuff. Alright, what does this dude switch? So, this guy's doing basically what I'm asking you to do, right? he's going around and he's preparing for his team to engage, because look at the attention that he can draw off of this, right? Sigma cannot help the front line here because Sigma is now worried about the Reaper that's shooting him in the butt, right? What implication does this have on the rest of the fight?
Helden sterben nicht.
If that Reaper goes there, right? What happens to the rest of this fight? Sigma's putting pressure on the back line, gets his shift forced. He's not ready to help out with this grav, right? It's this big grav that's gotten 4 or 5 people. You're not ready to follow through on it. Reaper's not ready, or not Reaper. Sigma's not ready to follow through on it. McCree's not ready to follow through on it, right? Like, this grav is bad in the context of the situation, as big as it is, right? Because nobody's there to follow through on it, right? Because look at the attention that this Reaper has bought off of this by being in your backline. You can't be looking both ways at once. And it kind of almost comes back to that Bastion thing that we saw in the first 10 minutes where you had to turn both ways, right? Because you were positioned so forward and in the middle of the full situation, right? It's kind of similar, right? You are not in a position to help out because you're worried about the Reaper in the backline, and your Sigma is also focusing on him too, right? So he's bought a lot of attention, and attention is valuable, right? They get the not trance, they get the Zen out, right? But Zen for Zarya, right? This Sigma really shouldn't be hunting this guy as hard as he is, but I just don't think he has faith in you to clutch this out, right? And McCree's not looking at him either. McCree needs to be challenging these too, right? The wrong people are doing the wrong jobs, right? Like, the Sigma's just hunting him down so hard, and you're frontlining, right? Like, you and the Sigma need to be trading places. Healers die because they have no protection, because Sigma could have shielded, Sigma could have used his hands, right? Admittedly, that's a lot of ults. Nano, Hog, Noon, and you keep it going. Alright, I don't think that you should be committing Flux here, but whatever. Alright, this isn't about Sigma, this is about you. 57%, respectable.
This is my curse.
Right. But that Reaper made one simple play differently, and your team didn't know how to respond to it correctly, and that's what bought them that point. Right? This isn't bad. You did the right thing. You should be aware that because they have McCree, he's going to try and challenge it, and you probably die for this. Oh, wait. No, you use shift well. Nice. He wasn't ready for you. Where'd your Death Blossom go? Wait. Oh, don't tell me you used it here. Wait a minute. Wait, did you use it in this fight? Oh, dude. No. Oh, no. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. You should know that was a lost fight when your healers went down. Right? That just hurts.
This
Happens. You try to make a hero play, it didn't pay out, right? But imagine how valuable it would be for this next fight, right? I'm going to point back to times where it would be helpful for you to have it here, right? Okay. I'm surprised he doesn't kill you here. But this is like why you save shift. It's for stuff like that. Yeah, that dude gets blasted. Didn't stand a chance, right? Imagine if you were able to teleport up top right now and drop on them with Death Blossom. Imagine if you were able to flank around the right and had Death Blossom. You win this fight for your team, right? This dude stuns you again. Okay. You forced trance. Nice. Like, you forced trance because Zen wasn't able to help everyone at once. Because you're in the backline, right? Like, cool. Like, he had to help the McCree in time. He didn't have confidence that he was going to be able to stop you. Just by existing and just by shooting, you force trance out. That's huge. Right? You're getting work done. You're building your ult, right? Okay, and they pinch you. Okay. Happens, right? I mean, that entire fight was kind of just that should have been an eco push because you didn't have ults to work with. But considering you spent nothing. Yeah, you actually spent nothing and you got trance and shot her out of that? Like, that's pretty good. That's a really good trade, actually. It just needs to happen faster. Now you're back to front lining. Please shift. Nice, good timing. You shift into danger once more. Not bad, right? Do you see the difference between the bosses that are getting value and the ones that aren't? They're not ready for the ones that are getting value. Huge. You actually carried this fight. I want to watch why you carried this fight, because I've been ragging on you all review, right? Right? So this is dangerous. He shifts out instead of shooting you. So thankfully you force that out of him. Hog doesn't finish you and you get a nice headshot, right? Die. So right here, where's the McCree? Super unable to help. Cool. That's a stun out of the fight. This Reaper doesn't have shift anymore because he just used it because he just forced it out. Good. Where did Honest Sleep go? I actually have to check this. Okay. So you probably heard the audio cue when you were wraithing. Right? So pretty much after Hook's done, right? After Sleep is out, knowing where the McCree is, this should all tell you, right? Actually, it's pretty hard to hear the sleep noise in all that chaos, right? But after all this, you should know that there's no tool that they have at their disposal to mess with you other than raw damage. And your team's pushing behind you, right? After that hook, and after maybe hearing a Wraith audio cue, like, you should know that this is free. And also knowing that they used trance in that last fight, too, because you force it out, right? Do you see how, in taking the angle and taking the fight properly and using cooldowns well, you have made the situation your own, right? You didn't do a lot, right? In the grand scheme of things, you really did three things. You ran it down mid, you used shift when they were trying to hit you, and you ulted around people, right? But because of the way that you approach it and because of the things that you did early on, you set the stage for yourself to make sure trance was off the table, right? I don't agree with you pushing forward, but admittedly, you baited out sleep, right? You pushed someone who was in trouble, particularly the Reaper, and you forced out Wraith. Like, all these things started working out for you, and that's why this gets value, right? That's why you get value out of this ult. You should win the point off of this, especially because that Zarya is helping you. You get bubbled, kill this Ana, right? Good. You carried this fight. I can say with confidence, you carried this fight. Good job. Oh, kill this guy. Nice. Okay. That's another weird grab. I really don't like that. Right. But now look, I think that Reaper's probably staging himself again. Yeah, there he is, right? We'll watch him up here, because I want to see what this Reaper does.
Into the iris.
Okay. Yeah, so he's kind of messing about, trying to find a good angle. Alright, you kill that guy. If Zarya's pushing, you're not pushing with her, right? I think because you're afraid of that. Kind of just leave her to die, right? You could have followed up on this. Whoa, it's another Ian. It is. Actually, what's up, Galen? I think in the last replay we actually had Owen as the enemy Ryan. I'm not even joking. We might have had him in the last replay. Thunder was the opponent. All right. Yeah, beats up. You can go aggressive here. Counter synergy between those two. Right. Yeah, that Zen needs to be that Zen should be a priority, right? This dude's free. This dude's free in the back. Yeah, there's not really gonna be a good time to blossom. Well, okay, but what's the difference between this blossom that you just popped and the last one, right? Like, why is this one significantly worse? I don't know why you didn't push him. That Zed should have died there. Alright. So right here. Right here, this dude sees you coming out, and he pops shield immediately, right? So Zen should live this, right? Okay. And then you start focusing him instead of trying to go for the Zen, and he's getting pocketed, right? He's got the Ana behind him. So the only person you end up killing is this Reaper, and that's just because he was too close. But because of how telegraphed this all was, right? I want to see how the team responds to it, right? Watch how they respond to you doing this thing, right? Watch how you play this. Okay, well, that's unfortunate, right? So Hog's behind, and you don't, you like, you do that thing where like dudes are like just about to get into a fight, and they kind of like try to make each other flinch by like they fling their arms back, they kind of like puff their chest out, and they like do the crazy eyes. Like you're doing that to the Zen to make him back off like a high school bully, and then you just leave him alone, right? No, kill that dude. He's right there. There's nobody who's able to help him. Go for the squishy, right? That's free. And you pass this on him too, like you did the same thing. Both people that you needed to kill, you just gave him a free pass, right? And then you do this in kind of an awkward spot where the team's able to respond. Like this Reaper shouldn't be running into it, but you put yourself in a weird position where you're surrounded on all sides, right? So you had something done. It's not a whole lot, and you keep focusing. You're hyper fixating on these tanks, right? While it's good to kill the tanks, right, it's gonna be impossible to do when they keep getting healing. Now imagine if you'd focused on it a little bit harder. Right? And it looks like you reconsidered chasing that Ana in that moment. And that indecision nearly gets you killed, right? Look how much work it took to get something done there. Yeah, hit that guy. Cool. Nice. You won. Good job. So both of these games that we saw were wins. Right? So good to see, but there's definitely a lot of flaws with the gameplay that I'm seeing on the Reaper. So certainly consider how you're using your cooldowns, right? I think right, like the most egregious one I can think of is this, right? And here, Galen, I'm pulling this up for you to watch if you're still here, right? So end of the fight, he goes to camp out the spawn, right? Like, you're getting really greedy to build up momentum for yourself here, right? Because you shift, and you've already used your teleport, and you go in as they're respawning, right? You are too close. Bubble comes out, and you squander it by not fully just retreating, because you go back in, and they kill you, right? So, like, you got punished for a lot of different decisions there. And, I mean, this is the one time that this happens. Wicked Rad, thanks for the follow. Right, this is the one time that this specifically happens to you, right? But the overall issue is you're using your utility in a suboptimal way when you need to think about how you're going to have escape options, right? You challenge this because you got greedy, so your teleport goes out, and then you use your shift to re-engage, right? Shifting to re-engage is something we've seen a lot of out of you, and I really want to see you be a little bit more have a little bit more temperance when you use it, right? I would really like to see how that works out for you. Yeah, I don't think Ace is actually in my chat tonight. But yeah, we can always go and look something back over if people want. I am gonna call it on the stream soon.
Death comes.
Let's try to think if there's anything I missed, right? And this is the other example, right, of the putting yourself in harm's way unnecessarily, right? You know, Reaper's very good on flanks. Let's watch from the Hog perspective, right? Like, what does the enemy team see when you're doing these things, right? What's the situation that they're noticing? Right? Hog hears the McCree and he sees you running and he knows he's gonna be able to get someone, right? If he doesn't just challenge it. But I guess the rest of his team must have calmed to him. Let's watch it from rat perspective. Right. Right. Okay. He's already shooting at you. He's trying to take control of the dark room. He sees that you're both there and he just lobs it in, right? But the entire attention gets refocused on you all. And, he dies for it because his McCree is just more survivable, I guess. Right? So, yeah, some major takeaways are think about your cooldowns. It's a little bit harder on Reaper. Try to... Actually, let me get my pen tool out. Epic. Right, so... Where is the pen tool? There we go. There we go. All right. So number one thing, right? Cooldowns. Right? Think about how you're using them, and use them wisely, right? So engage versus disengage, right? What do you need to be doing? What does the situation call for? What does the cooldown let you do? Um, we're seeing you use teleport to try to get in for blossoms, and not to set yourself up. We're seeing shift to re-engage in fights just to mitigate a little bit of damage and not to like fully escape, right? Um, Number two, flanks slash angles. Um, right? A lot of what you're going to be good at is getting the jump on people. Again, as we've talked about, right? It's why Death Blossom works is when you surprise people with it. Your kit is almost entirely mobility focused, right? Either teleporting you to vertical spots, either engaging fairly quickly compared to the rest of your team, especially if you don't get punished for it, right? But being able to take these angles and being able to disengage is huge, right? Because you're going to be able to challenge someone, and then as long as your cooldowns are still up, you can get out of that situation, right? You take pressure off of your team while putting pressure onto them, right? So pressure management, I think, is what I'm going to call it. I cannot write pressure manage, right? So that's another thing you need to focus on. And then the last thing I want you to work on, right? And this is a very hard three. I would also even put it lower. Is cooldown awareness, right? Um, let's not do that. Cooldown awareness, right? Do they have stuns? Do they have hook? Do they have rock? Do they have hands, right? Do they have trance, right? What are the things that you need to be forcing out to get value out of Death Blossom, right? Because as we pointed out earlier, every time that you got massive kills with Death Blossom, it was because their utility had been used up and they didn't have anything to save themselves. And all the times that you didn't get value out of Death Blossom were because people were able to respond to it, either with positional superiority or having the cooldowns to shut you down. Um, Value out of Blossom, right? So those are the major three things that I want you to work on, Ace. I will be uploading this video tonight. I'll send it to you tomorrow, and you'll have until practice to work on these things. So I'm gonna call it for the stream. Thanks for everyone for tuning in.